This is part 6 of my ex try to swap me, and now I'm gonna explain why I hate Hyundai so much.
So because of all these strange occurrences, I knew that I was basically being stalked and somebody was breaking into my place. So because of that, I was concerned about this, and I took my vehicle to Petter Hyundai in Poway. And I basically went there for 3 reasons. I told them 3 things. I told them, number 1, the last time that I got my car service was around 31,000 miles, so please service my vehicle. Number 2 was please check my vehicle for any tracking devices, any GPS tracking devices. I also requested them to re-key my entire car.
I asked them to do this because I called a different dealership and I was told that if my boyfriend ever at any time drove my vehicle alone, he could have definitely made a copy of the key fob without my knowledge. And he's definitely asked to use my car alone by himself before.
So the man who helped me, his name was Jason, he told me that re-keying an entire vehicle, it's going to be really expensive. It's going to cost thousands of dollars, but what he can do is he can reprogram the vehicle. And he told me that would cost less than $200, something like that. And so I elected to reprogram the vehicle. And when I picked up my vehicle later that day, my boss actually drove me. And when I picked up my vehicle from Petter Hyundai, I asked Jason if my car keys were reprogrammed, and he said that they were. However, I didn't find out until later on in September. Later on in September, I would call this Hyundai to inquire more about the services that I got. I ultimately found out that none of those services ended up being done. The only thing that was done, they did a vehicle inspection for tracking devices, and they found nothing. However, there is absolutely nothing on the paperwork mentioned about reprogramming my car keys, which doesn't even make fucking sense. If I was actually fearful enough to pay almost $600 to inspect my vehicle for tracking devices, why the hell wouldn't I request to reprogram my car keys? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Honestly, it just feels like this company just took my money and scammed me, because there is virtually no point in only checking a vehicle for tracking devices and not rekeying the vehicle.
Like, why would I only pay for one and not the other? That literally does not make sense. And I also didn't find out until September that my vehicle was never serviced. They didn't even do a routine maintenance on the car or any oil change or anything. And I literally told them that the last time I got my vehicle serviced was around the 31,000 mile range. And even on the paperwork right here, it says that the next routine maintenance that needs to be done is at the 40,000 mile range. Well, I took my vehicle in at 39,776 miles. So this leaves a giant question mark as to why these services were not done on my vehicle. I think Petter Hyundai has some explaining to do.
Now, I had this service back in July, but it wasn't until I called later on in September that I discovered that almost all of the services that I had requested were not actually done. They were like, well, we looked at the paperwork and these services actually were not completed. And I was like, what the hell? I requested specifically for surveillance footage of the day that I was there at the Hyundai store. And for some reason, this Hyundai dealership put me on the sales list, and so now I constantly have Hyundai salespeople calling me instead of what I asked for. So on September 26th, a guy named Taj from the sales department called me. He thought I placed a request to purchase a vehicle when I actually placed a request for surveillance footage, and I also requested the email addresses of the service manager and general managers. Taj said that he will inform the higher-ups. Nobody ever got back to me. Well, a few days after that, I get a phone call from a guy named Max, and this happened on September 29th at 2:19 in the afternoon. However, it was not what I was requesting. It was from the sales department at Petter Hyundai, and he called me again because he thought I was looking to buy a vehicle, and I informed them once again that I was looking for surveillance footage from the day that I was there. I informed Max that somebody from Petter Hyundai called me from the sales department Thursday or Friday. And I spoke to a man named Taj and spoke to him about obtaining surveillance camera equipment. And I told Max that I wasn't sure if my message reached the right people. Max then informs me that a San Diego police officer came by, and it was either on Thursday or Friday, also requesting surveillance camera footage. He described this SDPD officer as being white, tall, comb-over hairstyle. Now, I don't know if that means he was bald and trying to cover up his bald spots, or if he meant the stylish type of comb-over that young people use to describe this type of haircut. And he possibly had a mustache. He said he looked like your typical, everyday, ordinary guy. Nothing about him stood out in particular. The fourth thing that I was requesting from them was for them to fix the electrical activity in my vehicle, because ever since I got hacked into, I noticed my car wasn't working properly. I have videos of my airbag light going off at times. I have videos of my seatbelt alarm going off even though there's nobody in the passenger seat. And obviously, the defective airbag light can be a pretty big problem. And I didn't know this until after this hacking incident, but apparently your smart car can be hacked into.
Thieves break into and steal this pickup truck right out of a driveway in Southern California. The thieves used a tablet meant for locksmiths that can connect to technology in newer vehicles.
And when I picked up my vehicle later that day, my boss actually drove me. And the reason why my boss drove me is because I told him about every single thing that was happening to me. He was concerned, so out of concern, he offered to drive me to this Pedro Hyundai location. So he actually saw me pick up my vehicle, open the trunk, place my belongings in the trunk, and then leave. And in fact, it would be this very same day that I would end up seeing signs of entry in my vehicle, right after picking up my vehicle from Pedro Hyundai. You see the CBS card? Remember that when I went to go drop off my car at Hyundai, because I was getting my entire vehicle inspected and torn apart to look for any GPS trackers or microphones or anything like that, remember that because they were going to tear apart my entire vehicle from top to bottom, I specifically cleaned out my entire car. I cleaned out my entire car so there was nothing inside of the vehicle. And when I picked up my vehicle, my boss dropped me off. He dropped me off. He saw me open my trunk. He saw me put my suitcase full of computers and electronics into my trunk, close the trunk, and then drive off. I found it interesting that my ex's CVS card was somehow placed in the middle of my trunk, like in the very dead center of my trunk. I think I would have seen that if that were actually there to begin with. And it just makes me wonder, what were they planning on doing with the CVS card? Was it supposed to be like a taunting gesture, like a ha-ha, look what I can do to you type of thing? Or was it supposed to be more like an attempt at framing? You know, I wonder, was one of his police friends going to pull me over the next day and then ask to search my vehicle to try to frame me for something? I wasn't sure. Well, it just so happened that a content creator friend of mine happened to be at my house when this happened. So I ended up giving the CVS card to him. I told him to take care of it, and I will come back to get it at a later time. I personally did not even know my ex had a CVS card. As far as I know, he always got medications delivered to his house. So I found this really odd. In fact, the last time my ex and I were together at the CVS, it was in this location in Costa Mesa. And I distinctly remember I lost a 40% off paper coupon. And I remember I kept trying to find it and I couldn't. And I was trying to use it for my purchase, but I somehow lost this coupon. So I distinctly remember I kept trying to input my phone number at the cash register a bunch of times. I kept inputting my phone number. And I must have input the wrong phone number on accident on my last purchase to get this coupon. Because for some reason, the coupon is not populating. It's not showing up at all. And not once did my ex input his number to help me out with a coupon. So this man would not even help me out with a coupon, and then he plants his CBS card into my trunk on purpose. It's almost like a taunting thing. Like, oh, look at how bad I can treat you and then do this to you and get away with it. You would think if I actually knew that he had a CBS card, I would have been like, hey, could you put your fucking number in, please? And because I had seen signs of entry in my vehicle, this being one of the very obvious signs, I contacted Hyundai requesting a data log of my entire BlueLink data. It's basically their app that shows all the times that somebody used my app to either open my vehicle or locate its GPS. And I sent Hyundai multiple emails and multiple phone calls from July through November. And not once did they ever send me this BlueLink data request. So because of this, Hyundai, you're up next. I'm gonna sue you too. Because you know what? Not only did you guys scam me, you guys also failed to keep me safe. Your app and your customer service is utter fucking crap. You should not be allowed to do this to your customers.
Calling on from a recorded line. Do you mind if I speak to Kaz? He's the one who I spoke to last time.
I'm sorry, we don't have ways to directly send you to someone. What's the call in regards to?
He was the manager. This is in regards to my BlueLink data. I requested an export of my BlueLink data 2 different times, and I was told it wouldn't take longer than 6 weeks, but it's been over 2 months, and I still haven't received it.
And you said the person that you spoke to was a
Kaz.
manager?
He's a manager. His name is Kaz, K-A-Z.
So from what I can see, there was an update put on your case as of the 31st, so a couple of days ago. It says we're unable to provide surveillance recordings from the dealership, that you would have to contact the dealership to request that information.
Okay, I also requested a copy of my BlueLink data export back in July and in August, and I still haven't received that.
Okay, so it says we are unable to provide call recordings from interactions with BlueLink, that you would have to submit a new privacy request for any information regarding the service usage history.
Why do I have to submit a new request? I submitted 2.
That is what is was documented from a supervisor on Halloween. I'm not sure why you would have to submit another one when you've already done it, but that's what it says here.
Yeah, because if you read my request, I actually specifically requested a export of my BlueLink data, especially specifically like who accessed my car. And I even told the manager Kaz over the phone that the reason why this is important that I get it is because I believe I'm being stalked by my ex-boyfriend.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they told me it would take a max of 6 weeks, but it's over 6 weeks and I still haven't received it.
Let me go ahead and speak with my supervisor to see what we can do in regards to that for you. Okay, so give me one quick moment, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
I am trying to get my supervisor to help me out a little bit more because I'm not seeing like why you would have to submit again when you've already done it twice, both in July and August. So I'm not sure if it's because you were submitting for both at the time that you put in the submission, and now they just want it to be just for the single submission of your BlueLink data and like the usage and where it was accessed and all of that. So that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, but if I
before
file
give you
again,
any
then I have to wait
information.
another 6 weeks. You see what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah,
it just postpones it.
Yeah, no, definitely understand.
And I'm actually checking too. The one that I submitted on August 18th didn't even mention anything about phone numbers. I'm actually reading it right now. I said I had every single device I own hacked into all at the same time. I had to get brand new emails and phone numbers. I would like to request a data retrieval or history log of every single time my BlueLink Hyundai app was accessed to open a vehicle, especially within the last 2 months. And then I requested a copy to be sent to my physical address, and also a copy to be sent via email. And that's all that I asked for.
Our Hyundai Motor America team with the privacy department, they are going to look into this and see what is going on. They will be in contact with you. It could take about 7 days, but it could be sooner, so just be on the lookout for your email, okay?
Well, now it's December, and Hyundai still has not gotten back to me. They told me that they were gonna get back to me in a week. This phone call took place like back in fucking September, okay? It's fucking December now, and I kept sending multiple emails, like at least 1 email and 1 phone call a month, maybe sometimes 2 or 3. And not once did they ever send a response back, aside from some generic-ass email. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this company, honestly? And because I had gotten so many devices and accounts that I own hacked into, I deliberately took a screenshot of when I renewed my Hyundai BlueLink app. My subscription for Hyundai BlueLink was going to expire in August of 2025. Because so many weird things kept happening to my accounts and to my appointments kept getting canceled, even though I never canceled them, and I had a feeling that something weird was going to happen with my Hyundai. So because of that, I deliberately screenshot my Hyundai app to show that I had indeed subscribed. And sure enough, about a week later, I received an email saying that my Hyundai membership had oddly been canceled. And this was when I called Hyundai to inform them that I had not canceled the app, and this was the phone call when I spoke to the manager named Kaz. I deliberately subscribed to this app and paid for this app solely for the sole purpose of trying to obtain my BlueLink data, because I didn't want my BlueLink data to be erased if I unsubscribed for whatever reason. I didn't want anything to go wrong. So I subscribed to this app that I'm not even fucking using. I deliberately have not used it since July, especially not to open my vehicle at all. So I'm basically paying for an app that I'm not using because I'm still waiting on Hyundai for them to give me my fucking data. Now, I distinctly remember, I think this was actually the same week that this was all happening. I happen to have a telemedicine appointment with this telemedicine company that I've been seeing for over a year. I actually had a feeling, because so many weird things were happening to me, that my internet was actually not going to work on the day of this appointment. And that's actually exactly what happened. I actually found out like maybe 1 hour before. I actually signed in 1 hour beforehand to make sure that my internet was good, so I could actually sign in and wouldn't have any problems. And I distinctly remember that I found out that day that my AT&T Wi-Fi ended up getting blocked. It totally got blocked, so I actually couldn't sign in at home. So that's when I grabbed my dad's phone and I went to work with it. And I actually ended up having the appointment in my boss's office. Like, my boss was listening the whole time about what was happening to me. The next time I had an appointment with this very same physician in August, my appointment was canceled without my authorization, without my consent. I originally had the appointment on August 8th. And then I got an email saying that my appointment had been rescheduled, and it was now August 13th. And I called this telemedicine company once I saw this email. The representative that I spoke with over the phone said that my appointment had indeed been canceled, but they could not tell me over the phone whether it was done by email or by phone. So because of that, I'm going to have to issue a subpoena to this company as well. Simultaneously, at the same time, like around the same time that my AT&T Wi-Fi got blocked, I received an AT&T box that I absolutely did not order. And I was like, who the fuck ordered this? And I called AT&T. They claimed they couldn't tell me because they fucking outsourced to, I don't know, like whatever country they outsourced to. So they're like, oh, they claimed they couldn't tell me. I was like, okay, thanks. After this experience, like I didn't want to deal with AT&T anymore. I was like, I don't want to deal with this company anymore. So I stopped getting AT&T. And at my new place, I decided to go with Spectrum. And after I moved to my new apartment, my internet basically didn't work until September. Like, I just couldn't access any websites. I think I was able to connect to the browser like one time during that, like almost 5-6 weeks, something like that. It was a long time that my internet would not work anywhere inside the house. And this would also happen with my phone too, not just my internet. And, you know, I had a strong feeling by this point that it was somebody who's related to law enforcement who was intercepting my shit, right? So since I'm a content creator, obviously that's considered to be like a suppression of my First Amendment rights, my constitutional rights.
And here is the proof that my First Amendment rights were violated. Back in June, I had actually hired an entertainment attorney who specialized in doing something called pre-clearance video review, which is when they review my videos to ensure that everything that I say is following the law, is not considered slander or libel, and I can't be sued for anything. This email exchange actually proves that I was engaging in constitutionally protected free speech.
So this is my Samsung Galaxy that I have. I bought it like refurbished in January. And by the way, I gotta add that if you have like a Samsung Galaxy and if your Gmail gets hacked, you are pretty much fucked because the entire phone runs entirely on Gmail. So I actually remember like I was trying to email like the recordings that I had made on this phone to another email address of mine, and I couldn't. I physically couldn't because my Gmail had been hacked into. Now this one in the middle is actually my old broken iPhone, and it's pretty much the exact same model of iPhone that I'm recording on right now. It's an iPhone 14 Pro. And by pure coincidence, I happened to like shatter the back of it. I'll show you like the back. You can actually see like the back is pretty shattered. So I filed an insurance claim through I think Apple Care to get a new phone. And I'm a procrastinator, right? So Apple mailed me this phone that I'm currently recording on right now. But because I'm a procrastinator, I got hacked into, right? And I actually never sent this phone back. So after I got hacked into, I decided, you know what? This phone might actually contain a lot of evidence and a lot of data that's probably not modified. So I should actually probably hold on to it. So I held on to it and never sent it back to Apple. So that was like a stroke of like really good luck for me because I pretty much have like all the dirt about my ex like on this phone. So even if it's modified on this phone, like it's still all on this phone. And oh yeah, so one of the things that wouldn't play on my phone, my current phone that I'm holding right now, is like videos that I had recorded between me and my ex in May. It was like mid-May, like May 16 or something like that. So I had recorded like a few videos of content between me and my ex, and for some reason they would be like completely frozen on my phone. Like they wouldn't play at all, but they would play on this phone. And you can clearly see, like at one point I even bought like a fucking Faraday pouch to put my phone in. This pouch apparently, I would learn later that it like blocks the signal or something. So it's basically more efficient than putting your phone in airplane mode. You like stick your phone inside one of these and then like, I don't know, it like blocks anything from being able to communicate with it or touch it or anything like that. I would also like to add that I bought something very similar for my car keys because I continue to see signs of entry in my vehicle. Believe it or not, this story gets even crazier. I haven't even gone into the stuff that's happened to me at my workplace. That's coming up in the next video series.